I just want to give you a quick tip on what's happening in the market in terms of contract failures. Now, we saw as the market with COVID kind of exploded in March and April, the number of contract failures also followed that pattern. We went from about 4% contract failures in February all the way up to 12% of the contracts failing, which is really unusual. National average is about 5% of contracts. Escrows going into escrow fail, but it went all the way to 12%, and then it came back over the top. In May it was 9%, and now in June it got down to 7%, and I'm going to suspect for July it's going to even be lower, back down to the historic norm of 4 or 5%. But that doesn't mean we won't have some competition in the market. The reason I want to bring this up in terms of competition is that we have to educate our buyers about what to expect in the marketplace. And one thing we should do is prepare them for the possibility that there's going to be multiple offers. 49%, according to a new study from Redfin, of buyers that are in the market are facing a multiple offer situation when they write an offer. 49%. And so one strategy, of course, we want to give you every strategy to win that. We just did a webinar for you called 10 Ways to Win in a Multiple Offer Situation, which you should go watch. It's over at eRealEstateCoach.com. But if you happen to be somebody that's not successful, I just had one of my students have a situation where they had 75 offers they were competing with. And when you have that situation, 74 people are going to lose and one's going to win. If you're one of the people that weren't successful, always encourage your buyer to go into a backup position. There's almost no downside to going into backup because you're just going to be the primary backup. And if that first offer fails, and we still have 5% of 6%, 7% of offers failing, it's going to give you that opportunity to move into first position. And when most of the time when a deal is going to fail, it's going to fail in the first 2 weeks. Now, that doesn't mean your buyer can't be out shopping for another home. If they find something else, they just remove themselves from backup and they go into primary on another house in the market. So there's really no downside. Why wouldn't you always go into backup if you have the opportunity? So if you can't get to an accepted position, ask the other agent, would you mind putting us in a backup? Because we would be totally okay with that. And if that first offer fails for any reason, we'll be right there. A lot of times the primary listing agent will feel good about that because it puts a little bit of pressure on the first buyer to close. If they can say to that first buyer, hey, we've got a backup right here. So it's good for them, it's good for the seller, and it's good for your buyer because instead of just kind of going out in the market and looking for something with no hope of getting in position, you're in a backup position. And then if you can find something else in the market, it's even better, right? You can just exit that backup position and go into contract on another house that you might find. So quick tip for you in the marketplace as you're out there dealing with this scarcity market that we have right now. Hope it helps. By the way, if you're interested in coaching on a daily basis, we've built a 4-step, 16-week coaching platform called The Path over at eRealEstateCoach.com. We're giving you 2 full weeks free. It's full access. We've got mastery classes on for sale by owners, expired listings, sphere of influence, working with investors, working with builders, on and on and on. It's a huge program, 16 weeks of coaching, but we're giving you your first 2 weeks free just to try it out, just to test it out, just to take a bite and see if it works for you. I hope you go check it out, and we'll see you next time over at eRealEstateCoach.com.